Welcome to the EOB Podcast, where we talk about the weekend box office and the new openings this week. I'm Benno, and joining me is Sen Duong. So Sen, welcome back. You were gone last week, or the last podcast. So I had to go it alone. But
And the one before that too, right?
well, no. We took a week off.
Oh, okay, all right.
Right. And so we missed out on talking about the new releases opening during the Christmas holidays. And also
okay.
Insidious, the Insidious 4, the last key. But we're here, right?
Yeah, and how did you do with your projections? Was it just as good
No.
as previous times when I wasn't here?
No. Mainly because it's horror movies, and I'm pretty bad with horror movies.
All right.
So we can talk about that. But in any case, to our lone one listener, single listener out there,
Okay.
maybe,
All right.
welcome.
Probably a bot.
Yeah,
Probably a Russian bot.
sure. Vladimir Putin's right there.
Yeah. At least his bots are looking at us.
Right. They're intelligent too, right? AI. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
big thing
Yep,
going
that's
on.
true.
They're ahead of their
Even though it's
time.
artificial.
Right, ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Soon it's all gonna be
Yeah.
bots.
Right.
All right.
Who knows? Maybe we're all really higher level bots.
No, right. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
So welcome to 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Another year already, and we
Yep.
only have one new release last weekend. Mainly because everyone's still on the holiday break. And
Yeah.
was the Golden Globes last night?
Yeah, yep.
That too. So award season is going on. So that's why the release is kind of slow.
Yeah, it's all for these indie films with platform releases, Oscar movies, well, war season.
Right. But this weekend they're revving it back up again.
Right.
So how about we jump right into the box office? Since you're away, how about you bring us in?
At number one is Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I think this is the first time it is number one since it opened, right?
Yes.
During the other weekends, it was beaten by Star Wars, The Last Jedi.
Right.
So this is one of those films that word of mouth must be really good, especially for a film that opened pretty wide already. That it jumped back to number one on its third weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty good because you have Star Wars, and that one is really the biggest movies or franchises there are, and to to wrestle control of that in its third weekend is pretty good, right?
Yeah. So it pulled in 36 million on its third weekend, holding up really well. The drop off is only 28%. It has grossed 244 million on a budget of just 90 million. When they released the trailer, expectations were really low. Really low. And the fact that it turned out to be a critical and commercial success is kind of like this. I don't know if you can say it's the sleeper hit of the holidays. You can probably say it is.
Well, if you're going with my projections number, then yeah, it is. A huge success.
I don't think even with the most optimistic projections,
Well,
even if people predicted the opening weekend correctly, I don't think anyone was predicting that this movie would do 300 million domestic,
well, but
which is what it's gonna do.
yeah, but you kind of did, right? Let's rewind back to what we
Okay.
projected, right, before we went on the holiday break. For me, I said
Right.
it would do maybe 15 million 3 days, 25 million 5 days, and you said it'll do like 35 million 3 days, 40 to 50 million 5 days. So you were pretty close right there.
Yeah, I was pretty close on opening weekend, but I wasn't thinking like this movie's gonna make 300 million. I was thinking like, this movie, if it does 150, it's considered a pretty decent sized hit. It's looking like it'll do at least 300 million.
Right, and it's kind of like a quiet 300 million as
Yeah.
well, because again, Star Wars dwarfed all movies, right? Because
Yeah.
it dominated the theaters. We didn't really look at Jumanji, and as you said,
Yeah.
right, Sony went with this strategy of lowering people's expectation with that trailer, which ended up working. for them.
Yeah, people are like, whoa, this is not bad.
Maybe, yeah, and if you're fans of the original, right? Jumanji. It's really this movie is not anything like it other than the name,
Yeah.
right?
Right,
So
right,
the
right.
tone is different. Characters are different. Like they're like there's Robin Williams, right, and two kids. This one is pretty much all adults, right?
Yeah, right. And I saw it, and it's very entertaining, very funny. Great movies to take the kids to. So yeah, I mean the wrestling control from Star Wars is a pretty huge feat.
Right. And who knows? I think the next weekend it will not be number one, maybe, right? But still, as you say, gaining control in this third weekend, from Star Wars is still pretty good. I mean, because Star Wars is only in its fourth weekend.
Right. You know what? Who knows? Maybe it might still be number one next weekend.
Maybe, but hey, you have Liam Neeson coming back in theaters. Who knows?
That's true.
It's The Rock versus Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Jumanji. The worldwide figure is at 519 million, which is really good. We're gonna see Jumanji 2, 3, 4, and 5, and they might turn this into its own Jumanji universe.
Yeah. Like I said in the last podcast, Jumanji, has Dwayne Johnson, right? And it's sort of like a continuation of his Journey movies. Lots of special effects. Fantastic creatures.
Family audience.
Yeah.
Right.
So Jumanji in name, but it's really another Journey movie.
Yeah, right. It's the Journey MCU.
Right. Crossover.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to number 2, which is the lone wide release last weekend. Insidious 4, The Last Key is the fourth movie in the Insidious franchise, surprisingly. And it pulled in it opened to 29 million over the weekend. Again, like I said, this movie, or horror movies, pretty much confound me because, my figures could be way off.
What were you putting the figure at?
I said it could open to maybe 12 million, mainly because the franchise, the third movie, took a dip from the previous high, the second movie. The first movie opened to like 13 million, right? The second movie, 40 million. And then third movie, it dipped half to about 22 million. So I figured that, hey, the third movie, it's not that real reviewed, and, the box office took a dip. I thought, hey, that might carry over.
Right.
Right?
Then instead,
you expect.
Yeah, I would have been with you.
Right, it makes sense, right? It makes sense, right? And the thing is, like,
and reviews were terrible too.
Right.
27%.
Yes, 27%.
Because the first couple were pretty decently well reviewed.
Right, and a B- cinema score, and like these are, and it's a horror movie, and you figure that.
Well, B- cinema score is pretty good though for horror.
Yeah, but you have to figure it out in the audience, right? So, makes sense for me to think that, hey, it's probably going to drop half again, the opening figure, but it went back up. I'd say, unless they found a way to rejuvenate the franchise, then it's going to take a dip. But somehow it did, right? It went back up.
Yeah, it's going, looks like we're going to see a 5. How many Saw movies are there? Like 8?
8.
Okay, so this might get up there.
Uh-huh. But the question is, why? Why did it went back up?
You know what? I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know.
Well, a lot of people haven't seen the movie, right? They're just basing it on the previous movie, and they say, okay, that one looks pretty good, so maybe I'll go see it, right? But if they watch the previous one, what makes them want to come back? Because reviews are terrible.
Yeah, that's a good question. But they came back.
They came back. And, the budget is 10 million for this movie.
Yeah.
And the star of the movie, I think, is, who is it? Lin Shaye. She's, I guess, the star of the franchise. And for her to be in 4 movies is pretty exceptional. And she's not one of these young characters, right? So, for her to carry the movie, it's pretty good.
Yeah, someone will have to figure out why this movie rebounded.
Right. So that's why
franchise.
that's what I mean. Is like I couldn't figure these horror movies out.
Right.
But maybe Jason Blum did. He produces the movie along with James Wan.
Yeah.
They know something that I don't.
Yeah. Well, they're thinking, hey, it's only 10 million. You'll at least make 30 million total, and that would make it a decent sized hit. but it did 30 million in one weekend. So hey,
Right, and it opened overseas in some areas, and there it pulled in 20 million, so for a total of nearly 50 million worldwide. So
yeah, on a $10 million budget.
Yep, exactly.
It's already a huge hit.
Right. Like I said, if you're gonna
Well
open,
profitable.
a movie studio, make horror movies for cheap.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the third movie. Star Wars: The Last Jedi pulled in 23.6 million over the weekend. Experienced a drop off of 55%. It's not holding up as well as the previous film. So far, it has already grossed 572 million domestically. Worldwide, it is at 1.2 billion. So it continues the Star Wars impressive figure trend. It's a humongous hit, but not doing nearly as well as the first film.
Yeah, The Force Awakens.
Yeah, The Force Awakens.
Yeah, but as we said, the first film is kind of special because it's a new, the first movie of a new series, right? A new arc, and it has with all that hype that entails. New characters along with the old one. Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, etc., etc. They all came back, so there's this huge hype going for it.
Yeah,
and
right.
this movie, The Last Jedi, couldn't match up with that built-in, I guess, hunger for a new Star Wars movie. Right. That's not all special effects by George Lucas, and
yeah.
And we said it couldn't hold up, but hey, look, it's 572 million domestic, 1.2 billion overseas, and still going. Yeah, hey, can't complain.
Yeah, yep. The whole Star Wars universe is still very alive and kicking pretty hard.
Yeah. And the next movie, I think, is a spin-off, right? Is it with the Harrison Ford
one?
Solo. Solo? Okay,
yeah,
Solo. Right.
We'll see how that one does, because they fired the director, a quarter when they were already when they were already filming. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to see how that does.
Well, but we have seen what these Disney movies, or Marvel firings, it tends to work out.
Yeah, so far.
But even if it doesn't work out, I think they'll make it right. They're not going to release something that would jeopardize this money machine.
Yeah, right. This fan base is very loyal and very dedicated. And Solo is, definitely one of the biggest characters in the franchise.
Yeah, and we're not just talking about fan base here. This is like I say, it goes beyond the fan base.
The usual fan base.
This is kind of like I think one of these water cooler movies, right? Where everybody has to see to talk about.
Right.
So that's why it's like 572 million here and still going. It's still going. I think it still have a couple more weekends to go.
Right, yeah. Let's move on to another semi-surprise movie of the holiday season. The Greatest Showman with Hugh Jackman. Pulled in 13.8 million over the weekend. Is holding up really well. The drop-off is only 11%. Of all the films in the top 10 that didn't expand, it has the best, held up the best. And it's grossed about 76 million domestically so far at a budget of 84 million. I don't think people were expecting this to be this leggy. The reviews weren't great. 55% on Rotten Tomatoes is kind of more critics than not recommended. To me, it did better than expected.
Well, yeah, kind of, but we were pretty on, I guess, with the opening figure. We said it do 10 million 3 days, 15 million 5 days, and it opened to 3 days about 8 million. So we're pretty close there with our estimates right there. And again, maybe we were wrong on how leggy it is. Because this subject about a guy who out of work who founded the Ringley Circus, right? And we say that, hey, the circus is on its way out. People might not be that interested in how the circus is found.
Yeah, right.
And in addition to that, this is a musical as well.
Yeah.
And if we just go by the domestic figure, I wouldn't say that it is a success because the budget is 84 million. Domestic gross right now is only 75.
Yeah, but it's holding up really well and it's heading to 100 million.
Right, 100 million.
So
But
so even with the domestic figure, I think it's it's a legitimate hit. Especially if you base it on expectations, people weren't expecting this to do 100 million.
well, sure. But without the overseas figures, it lost money. But if we go by worldwide gross, right, 150 million. It's
Hmm.
still not there yet, but it's getting close.
Yeah. And it's still going worldwide too.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be, it's gonna be profitable, and then of course on video it'll be decent. So it's almost there to let me see 85. So it'll have to do 170 worldwide, and looks like it'll get there by next weekend
Yeah, sure, but
to
it's
break
it's
even.
not that big of a hit, but it surprised me because of low expectations for this movie. Not because the movie is not good. It's because just the topic subject matter.
Right. So they're gonna be profitable. It's just now we'll have to see how profitable they're gonna be.
Right, I think they're hoping for an awards bump along the way as well.
Yeah, but it's not it's not getting that
Right,
kind
but
of bump.
when they made it, say, hey,
Yeah,
Hugh
right.
Jackman musical.
Yeah. Hey, everyone said Hugh Jackman is great in the film. It's just that they clean everything up for for a family audience.
Right. Hey, look, remember La La Land, the last musical? It did well.
Right. Yeah.
But for when it came to the Greatest Showman, maybe a musical might be, hit one of the cycles on the downward slope. Who knows? Award season wise.
Right. But hey, The Greatest Showman, surprising people with its how well it's holding up.
Right. How about you bring us in on number 5?
Okay, number five, Pitch Perfect 3 pulled in 10 million over the weekend. Uh, Drop off is okay, about 40%. It has grossed 86 million so far on a budget of 45 million, so it's going to be very profitable for Universal. But compared to the second movie, it's kind of disappointing. But hey, they're still going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. We were both hyping this movie up because because of the second movie, how well it did.
Yeah,
I
right.
think we said for me 55 million opening. You said 50, but no, it didn't. It opened way lower than that. It opened to about 20 million.
Hmm.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we both thought that Pitch Perfect 3 would do better than Jumanji. That's it's gonna
Cause
be the top movie of the new releases, but no.
yeah, cause the second film opened to like 70 million or something, right? But hey, Pitch Perfect 3 not as huge of a hit as we were expecting.
Yeah, not that huge, but it's still doing pretty well, right? Budget 45 million. Domestic gross is about 85 million and going and counting.
Yeah,
Worldwide right now it's at 140 million. So I I said they might not do a Pitch Perfect 4, but they could.
yeah, they can. Yeah,
Yeah. I thought that if the just going by the opening, I thought they would probably either reboot the series or go solo with one of the characters. But it looks like they can bring the band back together for another one.
yep.
All right, let's move on to number 6. Ferdinand. It's the Fox animation about this bull.
Hmm.
Still holding on. It pulled in about 7.7 million over the weekend. Domestic gross is about 70 million right now, but the budget is 111 million.
Hmm.
Worldwide right now it's 180 million, so it's doing better overseas than here.
Yeah. So this Ferdinand will have to make his money on video.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a disappointing figure for Fox, because the Ice Age films have done so well in the past, even though there's a downward spiral. But yeah, Fox Animation, I think, what is it? Is it Blue Sky? No.
It's probably Blue Sky.
Oh, okay. So they've been haven't been doing as well as they should be.
Well, they're always kind of on and off Blue Sky. They have one of these the what's that, the Ice Age movies, right? And
Yeah.
the who did Madagascar? Is it also Fox?
No. That's
Oh,
DreamWorks.
DreamWorks. So
No, Rio did 144 million. Rio 2 did 130. So this is kind of like not Ice Age, but kind of their second tier type of movie. Just the Peanuts movie did about 130. Epic did 108 million, and then Ice Age, the last one, only pulled in 64 million domestically. So Ferdinand is going to be one of their lower grossing ones.
Yeah, well, I don't know that much about the animation, especially Blue Sky, but I just feel that Blue Sky doesn't really have a voice like the Pixar's,
Yeah, well,
they're kind of like all over the place. They
have the Ice Age movies, and they kind of roll that as long as they could.
Yeah, they just have the Ice Age movie, and it's because they hit one off that they continue to make it. But if you look at their movies, they really don't have kind of a plan. It's kind of like all over the place, right?
Right.
So
let me see. Let's mention the worldwide gross. It's at 183 million, which is decent. It's catching up. It'll have to do at least 200 million worldwide, but kind of disappointing for them. Yeah, it'll probably be one of their lowest grossing animated films.
Yeah, sure. But I guess to be fair to Blue Sky, I don't think for Fox the animation is really a area of focus for them.
Yeah, here's the thing though. Now that Disney owns Fox, what's going to happen to Blue Sky? That's another animation studio. I wonder if Blue Sky was part of the whole Fox purchase. Because now then Disney has Pixar, Disney Animation, and Blue Sky. John Lasseter's on leave, for the sexual harassment allegations. So unless he goes there and turn them around.
You know what? I don't think Blue Sky figures that huge. Because their filmography for the animation thing, unless they milk more Ice Age out of this.
I mean, they're not bad. Their animated films outside of the Ice Age movies do about 130, which is not bad. I mean, it's not, it's not Disney animation, and it's not DreamWorks in their heyday. But,
sure.
Hey, they're steady. 130 million for a movie isn't. It's pretty solid.
Right, it's there, right? But Blue Sky and Fox is just kind of like a like Sony with their own animation thing, where they do animation too once in a while, and getting back to Disney owning Fox now, it's more for Star Wars, and I think the first Star Wars movie is owned by Fox, and for the Marvel characters owned by Fox. I think it's more of that, and the franchises owned by Fox instead of their for Blue Sky.
Well, there's Avatar, yeah. Avatar.
Right, that too.
But hey, Blue Sky, Ice Age movies were one of the most profitable franchises worldwide.
Yeah, sure.
So I think that's part of their. I'm sure the library is great.
Yeah, sure.
But now the weird thing is Disney has 3 animation departments. Are they going to move Blue Sky into Disney Animation or Pixar, or are they going to leave it alone and let them be their own thing?
That's what we'll see moving forward. Is how Blue Sky figures in all of this, because like I said, they don't have that deep of a library, animation wise, and they could potentially fold Blue Sky into the other ones.
Yeah.
Right.
Or John Lasseter can go in and turn them into another huge animation house.
Could
when
be.
he comes back.
Could be, but the thing is they have all these other things already, right? So, to simplify, they could just keep them all together.
All right, we'll see.
All right, yeah. Let's move along to number 7. Is Molly's Game. This movie is in the second weekend. It pulled in 7 million. Domestic gross.
It expanded, right? Went wide.
Yes. Domestic gross is about 14 million, and this movie stars Jessica Chastain as I guess a Olympic skier turned casino owner. She runs an underground casino and
poker game.
Who hosts the high stake poker game with all these powerful people in Hollywood, entertainment, etc. She got caught by the FBI, and and I guess Idris Elba plays her lawyer.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's pretty well reviewed, 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's definitely going for the awards play. And this is not bad for it. It's already grossed 14 million. We'll see if it can continue to hold on.
Yep. One thing to note is directorial debut of Aaron Sorkin.
Oh, okay.
He wrote some award-winning movies.
Yeah, like The Social Network.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. Like you said, awards play.
Yeah.
That will win. I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of movies that are expanding,
Mm-hmm.
at number 8 is Darkest Hour. Pulled in 6.4 million over the weekend. It expanded to 1,700 theaters. It's already done 28 million domestically, so it's already doing pretty well.
Oh yeah, but it's already in its 7th weekend, so it's one of these indie movies that keep on platform release, keep on expanding. It's about Winston Churchill during World War II, and like you said, it's doing pretty well. With 28 million, and once a movie that reaches in the 30 million range, like we said, indie wise,
for these indie movies,
it's
pretty
it's
good.
doing good. All right, number 9, Coco, the Pixar movie about Land of the Dead, or Day of the Dead, pulled in about 5.5 million over the weekend. Domestic gross is 192 million, and worldwide is at 589.
Doing pretty well.
Yeah, doing pretty well. It domestically it surpassed Toy Story, Cars 2. It's probably gonna surpass Ratatouille as well.
Kind of in terms of domestic gross, it's kind of in the middle of the Pixar library, or in the middle or in the lower group of films.
Yeah, but this is one of these new IPs.
Yeah, new properties.
Yeah, new properties. And it's not like is it Bears? Brave.
Yeah.
It's
Brave.
It's not like Brave, right? But this one is it's Coco. It did better than expected, I think.
Yeah. All right, rounding out the top 10 is All the Money in the World, pulled in 3.6 million over the weekend, drop off at about 37%. It's grossed 20 million after 2 weeks of release. They might have been expecting more, especially because Mark Wahlberg's in it. Doesn't look like he's been doing too well at the box office.
No. We'll get to that, but All the Money in the World, this movie opened on Christmas Day, which is a Monday.
Yeah.
And we said that we're gonna count the 7-day figures for this movie, and I think for 7 days it opened to around 12 million or so, cumulatively. And I said it could do 15 million 7 days, and you said 20, so I was kind of closer, so I want to gloat a bit. I said in the podcast, when you come back, I'll gloat. That's saying that I was pretty right on, kind of, with this movie. And also, like you say, Mark Wahlberg is not doing well. It's only that his movies that are based on like true events that didn't perform that well. And his previous movies, like that oil well explosion, what's it called?
Deepwater Horizon.
Yeah, Deepwater Horizon, and a couple others didn't perform as well.
Is it The Patriot?
Could be. Let's see.
Yeah.
So he made a couple of like Patriots Day, Deepwater Horizon.
Yeah.
Those movies. And this is one of those, and it's based on a kind of an event that not many people knows about, right? I mean, with Deepwater Horizon, you expect that it's pretty current, and it's a big event as well. But for this one, a kidnapping by one of the son or the grandkid of one of the richest men in the world. Not many people know about it.
Yeah. Well, in this case, not many people care.
True. Could be both, right?
Yeah. All right, so Mark Wahlberg will probably stay away from real life films based on real life events.
Or he could continue making them. I mean, he is making them, so I don't know.
I'm sure his agent's like, Mark, you gotta give this a break.
Yeah. Or it could be one of his own, passion projects, quote unquote.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, we'll see how it goes. It could do better overseas. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. New releases this weekend?
Sure.
Okay, so we have 4 new releases this weekend, 1 expanding. We have The Commuter, Liam Neeson on a train. Then sequel, Paddington 2, the action thriller Proud Mary. And expanding is The Post, a Steven Spielberg movie with Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks.
Alright, which one should we do first?
How about we just go down the list with The Commuter?
Alright, sure. The Commuter. Let me see how many reviews there are so far.
Okay, while you look, let me talk about the movie a bit. So, Liam Neeson stars as an insurance salesman. While on a train ride, he got roped in a criminal conspiracy, right? That a woman he met on a train offered him about $5,000 to do something for her. And I guess action ensues.
Yeah.
And the twist here is that he doesn't have that set of skills.
You know what? From watching the trailer, he does.
Maybe he found it along the way, but he's supposed to be an insurance salesman.
Hey, I see him bust out some bone-breaking moves. Straight out of the Ticket movies.
Right. No, well, so but that is something that all insurance salesmen has, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right.
All right.
How would they protect themselves, right?
Yeah, on RT, there are only about 12 reviews so far, and its score is 58%. Which is not bad so far, but I'm expecting this to be lower though.
Okay.
They always drop as more, for this kind of movie. The tomato meter always drop as we get closer and closer to the release date.
Right, but again, we're talking about January movies here, and
yeah. Well, so what kind of numbers are you predicting?
Well, Liam Neeson, he has his Ticket movies. So he's actually returning, right? All of his action movies are kind of like January releases, and they usually tend to do pretty well. And
so far I think it looks like it's just the Ticket movies though, because his last one his last couple they hadn't opened huge.
Yeah, we figured that it got oversaturated. There was one point where it's like.
There's one every year.
Yeah, or
sometimes two a year, right?
No, in 2014, there were like 5 movies with Liam Neeson in it.
Oh,
and
really?
I think so. In 2014, if you take a look. Yeah, but anyway, it seems like there was at one point where it seems like every year there's a Liam Neeson movie, and they all kind of revolve around the similar subject. Him badass, kicking butt. Action movie, right? In the same vein as the Ticket movies, right? And The Commuter, concept-wise, it kind of sounds like it's nonstop on a train, right? Nonstop, it's like him playing a marshal on an airplane.
Yeah.
This one, him as a salesman on a train.
Yeah, so Nonstop did pretty well. Nonstop did opened to 29 million and pulled in 92 million domestically. But A Walk Among the Tombstones and One All Night only open to 11 to 13 million. So is this One All Night or is this Nonstop?
Well, I think I see a similarity to Nonstop.
Nonstop?
Yes.
Okay, so what are you thinking?
So I'm thinking it'll probably do around 25 to 30 million. It'll probably open to 25 to 30 million.
That's kind of high.
I know. But this is Liam Neeson we're talking about, and he took a break. And I think we're still in January, and I think people might be, warming up to, this type of movie again. Yeah,
well, I think even with the Ticket movies, people are they might have seen enough of Liam Neeson breaking bones. So I don't think it's going to be that high anymore. I think I'm thinking like 15 million.
15 million. But I want to remind you that this is Liam Neeson, not having any set of skills. He, instead of running all night, he's just like running away from, I guess, mobs or whatever.
You know what? I've seen him bust a couple moves on those guys.
Okay, right.
On a trailer.
Okay, all right. But he doesn't track anyone down. He's running away.
All right. So 15 million. You're thinking what?
25 to 30. I feel that I think people are nostalgic.
Right.
For Liam Neeson and his action movies.
Particular set of skills.
Yes. Paddington 2. Let's go down the list. Based on a children's book.
The first one did decently, modestly well. The first one opened to about 19 million. And then went on to gross about 76 million domestically. It did modestly well. The reviews were decent. Paddington 2, it's already open overseas. I think it's already grossed about 100 million overseas, which is pretty solid for this kind of mid-range film that only costs probably around 50-60 million to make. And the review so far for this is even better than the first film. I think the first film, the tomato meter is probably 75 to 80% range, I think. But Paddington 2 with 71 reviews so far is at 100%, which is, surprisingly good for a sequel or for any film. 100% with 71 reviews so far. The Weinstein brothers, Harvey and Bob Weinstein was saying that, Paddington 2, he was putting a lot of money on this. He said this is the film that's going to, help them out, break them out of their box office slide.
Okay.
And because of the whole sexual allegation deal, WB is releasing this.
Right. So I pretty much right now the Weinstein company, it's kind of like on a death watch, sort of.
It's being sold, actively being sold.
Yes, or laying low. So right now it's with Warner Brothers. I guess they don't want this movie to be associated with anything Weinstein. So they don't want the Weinstein name on any movies right now.
Especially a family film, right?
Right.
So what are you thinking? The first film did 19 million. This one, the reviews are even better.
Even better, but Paddington is a decidedly British movie. So Hugh Grant is in this way, I have to add. He's the bad guy. So Paddington here, it's from the trailer.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
First film, Paddington, the first one actually scored 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I believe we talked about the first Paddington movie as well, so it's a long while back.
Yeah.
But like I said, Paddington is a decidedly British movie. So even though like it's very well reviewed, like the first movie, it opened to about 19 million because people here are not that aware of this movie or not that interested. It contains British humor. So 76 million domestic. I think the second movie would do a little bit better, but it might not have that high of an interest, even though it's like 100% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. So I think the opening figures could be, probably range around 20 to 25 million.
Oh, so you think it's going to get a bump?
A little bit bump because, this is the sequel, and because the first movie is well reviewed.
Yeah, well reviewed, did better than people expected.
Yeah, and this one, it looked more actiony than the first movie.
All right. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say.
And I might add, this movie Paddington kind of has the look and feel of the Babe movie, the pig.
Oh.
So it's kind of like that, except this one's a bear.
Well, the first film looked, it has a very.
Well, the thing is, like, the first Paddington is more subdued, but the sequel Paddington 2 looks like it's more action adventure, So it has, I think, broader appeal than the first movie. So that's why I gave it a little bit bump as well.
Well, actually, what I was going to say was the first film looks, in terms of look and feel, it looks a lot like a Wes Anderson movie. It has that very
pastel color?
Book.
Okay.
Yeah, children's book type of look.
I think this one still has a color.
I might go with you. I might go with 20 to 25 million because I think the first film was a surprise hit. So I think there's more people might have discovered it on video based on its word of mouth. So I'll go with you, 20 to 25.
All right, 20 to 25.
Maybe on the upper end of that.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if it opened more, but just go with that. All right, next is Proud Mary. So Taraji P. Henson plays an assassin whose life changed when she met a young boy during one of her failed jobs, I guess. I guess I don't know who Taraji P. Henson is. I guess she's pretty popular among some segments.
No, she's in Empire, the TV show.
Yeah, but I don't watch Empire.
Neither do I. But she also plays the mom of the Karate Kid.
Okay,
Jackie Chan version.
Right. But anyway, she's in her own movie.
Right.
As the lead.
Okay, so I've seen the trailer, and she doesn't have that like she's gonna kick ass.
I blame
like Charlize Theron.
Yeah,
in Atomic Blonde, because her, like, even when she says her one-liners, the delivery doesn't seem as confident or as badass as as, let's say, Atomic Blonde.
Right. So she doesn't look like this hardened assassin in the criminal underworld.
Yeah, based on the trailer, I didn't find it very believable. I like the concept, but her delivery doesn't seem believable.
Okay, all right. So what do you think, Proud Mary?
I don't know. I'm thinking like the 5 to 8 range.
Oh, 5 to 8. Okay.
5 to 8 million range.
All right. It is targeted toward the African American crowd. The question is, will they turn out for this? And Taraji P. Henson, I believe she might have a fan base, maybe. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So you say 5 to 8, and I still have to go with you. I say probably 5 million. But again, this is one of the genre that's kind of like it could open higher because of the fan base.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't know if, but we also have to think, like the erotic thrillers. There's at one point where the fan base may not support movies like those.
Yeah.
So this could be one of those where they might not be that interested in.
Right. Yeah, it could be.
So I'm with you there. But I think 5 million.
Right.
Okay, so expanding is The Post. Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg directed. So it has all the Oscar creds here.
Mm-hmm.
This movie makes
reviews are great.
Yeah,
87% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Right. So this is a movie that makes journalism sounds exciting.
Yeah. It's putting, I think it's very timely.
Yeah, sure.
The president
right.
constantly calls out these outlets, news outlets, as fake news.
Right. So this is the Saving Private Ryan of journalism movies.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So well reviewed. The last I checked is 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. And as you say, very timely because of the attacks on the news media.
Yeah. By our president.
Right. Yes. This one is about the Vietnam War. The government keeping secrets from the people, and the Washington Post attempt to publish all these secrets, and if they fail in the gambit, if they decide to publish, the company could go off business. The Washington Post could disappear because of lawsuits or what have you, and the people going to jail, prison. So there's this high stake thing involved.
Right.
Very action packed.
Right, but I read that it's also kind of dry too.
Okay, all right. We're talking about journalism here, so.
Yeah, I don't think it won any. Did it win any awards at the Golden Globe? Let me see. I haven't seen it yet. Doesn't look like it won any awards at the Golden Globes. All right. So what do you think? Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep. Steven Spielberg.
I think I'm gonna overestimate this one a bit.
Okay, go.
I probably could open to 35 million. It's probably too bit high for this movie, but
yeah, I think that's pretty high. I'm thinking 15 to 20.
15 to 20. Okay. Mainly, I think because of the people involved. That's why I'm going with 35 million and the timely subject matter. But again, it's also because of the subject matter that it might go low. It might open low.
Yeah.
And you say it didn't get any bumps last night because of Golden Globe. So the awareness might not be there. But hey, it's expanding because of the people involved. It might get a bump.
Yeah. So we'll see how many liberals will go out and support this movie.
Right. Like I said, this is a pretty dry subject, but it's a movie. It's a thriller, kind of like I think it's All the President's Men or something like that. One of these thing about deep throat and whatever cover-ups. So it could be exciting stuff. It could surprise.
All right, so we'll see how these movies will do this coming weekend.
All right, so tune in and see how we did.